Okay, Coach, when you take a look at this Snider team, you guys have been in camp for 2.5 weeks now. What is it that you've seen that you've liked about this team as we enter 2025 with Game 1 Friday night?
Well, I think, what stands out to us as coaches is just the work ethic. They've worked extremely hard in the offseason this summer. And now's the time, all that work, that's the fun part. You get to play on Friday night and let that work come to, the benefit and see it come to fruition on the field and improvement. And young kids getting ready to play on Friday for the first time. Last year, Friday night guys playing better than they did last year. So all that is what we're most excited to see.
You mentioned the young guys. You'll have some young quarterback play, some guys getting kind of their first varsity snaps. So how important is it with all the experience you have on the offensive line for those guys to set the tone as some of the other guys kind of get their feet wet on Friday?
Well, everything offensively begins with the offensive line. If you don't have quality there, everything else is going to struggle. Everybody needs those guys to play well for them to do their job, whether it be running back, quarterback, receivers. So that's a good place to start. But they got to play better. They got to play better than they did last year. But that's probably comforting for the guy taking the snaps or the guy running the ball, that you have some experience and some veteran, heads and talent up there.
When you take a look at this team defensively, Brandon Logan's at Notre Dame, Landon Fry's playing baseball at IU, Blakey's at UIndy, Dallas Woodson's at UIndy. I'm sure I'm forgetting some guys, but a lot of really talented guys on that side of the football graduated. But what stands out to you about this team defensively, and how does that play into trying to stop what Warsaw does, which we know historically has been Bart Ball and that wishbone offense?
Yeah, they'll run the ball a little bit, won't they?
A little bit.
Those guys, that's the cool thing about athletics. New kids come, other kids move on, and it's always a new challenge every year. And it's exciting for those young kids. They want to be those guys someday that somebody talks about them that said, man, what are you going to do without those guys? So that part's exciting. And that's the challenge for coaches, to get those young guys ready at the level that you had guys that were here before them. That's the cool part about coaching, and that challenge seems to exist every year somewhere. Offense, defense, special teams. That's the cool part about it. That's the cool part about teaching.
Well, final question from me. It's going to be our Highlight Zone game of the week. There's going to be a lot of excitement around this game. Aside from seeing those guys, as you mentioned, for the first time and watching them grow, what are you most excited for, and what is this team most excited for to get this 2025 season rolling?
Yeah, just another season. Every group's different. The character of each team, the identity of each team. We talked on Monday. We will find out a lot about the 2025 team right off the bat. First 3 games against teams that played in the state championship. We're going to know, who we are. We'll know our deficiencies. We'll know our strengths. We'll know a lot about individual players based on how we perform, certainly in Game 1.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, this Coach Curtis and I have known each other for a long time. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Their staff, seem like a great group of guys that love coaching football, something that we try to be as well. But they are very well coached, great program, coming off a historic year, and that they just do things really, really well. And I think we admire that as we watch them on film and have studied them. Just the detail at which they go about things, how hard they play, how tough they are. Those are things that for us. This is an exciting game because you get to, when you play something like that, you learn a lot about yourself, and it's going to be a cool way to kick off the season. No implications. It's no state championships on the line, no conference championships on the line. It's just, each program gets to see where they're at and against quality. It's always cool playing really quality programs, and just looking forward to it.
Appreciate it, Coach.